Canadian quarterback Nathan Rourke practiced with the New England Patriots for the first time Wednesday. Head coach Bill Belichick spoke about his new quarterback.
What has Nathan Rourke done over the course of his career that's caused you to say, I want to work with him?
Yeah, well, just the depth at that position. When you only have two quarterbacks on the roster, guy sprains his ankle, you're down to, putting a receiver or a running back or somebody at quarterback. So, it's productive. Preseason, Canada, so.
Classic Belichick right there. And that's going to be my first question for our good friend from LaSalle, Ontario, the former NFL tight end, Luke Willson. It's time for Luke Who's Talking. Luke, your thoughts on Belichick's Rourke comments?
No surprise there, Jay. Bill Belichick is notorious for not giving rookies any credit. And he's certainly not going to sit here like some other head coaches and answer a question about a guy who's been on the roster for 2 days and sing his praises. I think Tom Brady even had a comment that the only person he's ever heard Bill talk about in a really exciting light is Lawrence Taylor. And this is no disrespect to Nathan Rourke, but he's not in the Lawrence Taylor category at the moment. So no surprise there. Bill is not very friendly to rookies. He's certainly not going to go to the media and sing praises, even if he loves them. But it's a cool opportunity for Nathan Rourke. He gets to go in, especially in his rookie year, learn another playbook. I think is always great, especially at that position. Unfortunately, there'll be no playoffs for this team. And I think it'll be a bit of a crazy offseason in New England, whether Bill's there or he's not there or who they draft. But again, I think that he's going to be able to add another offense to his repertoire and also kind of be around different football minds, which as a rookie is a great thing.
Well, I want to move on to the Mafia. We always love asking about the Bills. You got to believe the Bills are going to take care of business against the Chargers this Saturday night. So I actually wanted to ask you about the MVP conversation. You and I talked about this over the weekend. Brock Purdy against Christian McCaffrey. But actually it was Josh Allen who took a big jump on FanDuel, Luke. Third best odds now, passing Dak Prescott. Is this realistic? Could Josh Allen realistically win the NFL MVP in your opinion?
I think FanDuel's drunk. I know that's what I'm going to say. Just being honest, the guy completed 7 passes last week, and he didn't need to do any more. He played a very clean game. James Cook runs for 266, or the team did, excuse me. James Cook was a big part of that, and all of a sudden, he's jumped up in the MVP rankings. And what's confusing me about this whole MVP award, and we've talked about it a lot on this show, is now I'm confused on what is it? Is it the most talented player? Is it the most valuable player to his team? Is it the best statistical player? I have no idea. But the idea that Josh Allen all of a sudden gets a huge bump because his team won a great game where it was predominantly a run game and defense, I think is a bit strange and just adds to this whole concoction of how weird this MVP year has been. And that's not a shot at Josh Allen. He clearly has the talent to win MVP. But right now, to have a 9 seed, again, they could win out. They could win the division. There's a lot of things that could happen. But I think that unless the 49ers fall off a cliff, it's got to be Brock Purdy or CMC. They are clearly the best team in the NFL.
I want to talk about one of your former teams, and that's the Detroit Lions, because we didn't get a chance to talk about the fact that they, after a real disappointing loss to Chicago a couple of weeks ago, they bounced back last Saturday, beat the Broncos. Is there anything this Lions team can do over the next 3 weeks, Luke, to convince you that they are a legitimate contender in the NFC?
Yes, and what they need to do is continue to establish the dominant run game. They're a very good run game team. They have a great set of backs. They have a great offensive line. I thought it was strange that they came out against Denver, obviously blew them out of the water. And I think the first 5 or 6 plays were all pass plays. And I'm not sure if that was trying to get Jared Goff back in his mojo, which clearly he did. But why I say they need to keep establishing a dominant run game is because the Lions have a glaring weakness, in my opinion, and it's their pass defense. And the way they can maybe cover that up against some of these great teams that they're going to see in the playoffs would be by keeping that defense of theirs off the field. And how do you do that? Long, sustained drives where you're wearing down opposing defenses by running the football. I can't stress enough, Jay, how great I think this backfield is. I think Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are a perfect combination of runners and their styles in that backfield. They have obviously a great offensive line. I think all the tight ends, including Laporta, do a very good job in the run game. So now all of a sudden you're in the playoffs, whether you're at home or on the road, in later rounds. Is it one of those things where, hey, we can maybe string together a 7.5-minute drive here by running the football? We get one stop on defense, come back out and do it again.
Yep.
There goes an entire quarter.
Yep.
And that's what I think I'd like to see them develop over the next 3 games.
Luke, Jalen Herz had some very interesting comments after Monday night's loss to your Seattle Seahawks. And we played them for our NFL insider Mike Garafolo on Tuesday night. I want to play them again for you right now. Take a listen.
We didn't execute. I don't think we're committed enough.
What do you mean by that, about being committed enough?
Commitment. I don't know that. I had a dictionary on me now.
All right. Weird comments. What did you make of them? And do you think that kind of thing has a bit of a reverberation in the locker room in Philly?
I would say so, Jay. To be honest with you, I mean, we've talked about it. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. But I was very, very surprised to hear that. And I don't know if he was just, going through your traditional answer, like didn't want to really give anyone any answers, so he's just spewing things. I'm not sure. But the idea that you come in after a loss, which you should have won. They had numerous times they could have put Seattle away, and they didn't. And then you as the leader of this team, the quarterback, the offense was the problem. I think if everyone would have said Seattle was going to score 20 points, you probably would have thought Philly would win that game. And to say, we aren't committed enough, it's really disheartening if you're an Eagles fan, because now we're not talking about X's and O's. You can always clean up the X's and O's. You're talking about what? Attitude, effort. I'm not sure. And the next thing that I'll say that is a little strange just about the whole thing was that, to me, when you watch that game, you win as a team and you lose as a team. But there was a lot of poor decisions, I thought, throwing the football. I can remember specifically there was a play, he took a shot to A.J. Brown. A.J. kept going. I think he thought it'd be a back shoulder. And if you rewind that tape, he's got a shallow route. He could have easily taken, much safer throw. Probably would have been a 30-yard gain. Nobody in sight. The interception to Quez Watkins, also early down there. You don't need to take that shot. It was a huge game-changing play. And then even when you're down 3, I was fortunate enough to see the all-22 view of that play. I definitely thought there were other options on the field based how Seattle was playing it. So some poor decisions, I thought, really kind of hamstrung this team in this loss. And for him to come out and say that the team's not committed, it's bad times in Philly right now.
Perhaps a meeting against Tommy Pizza DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, is just what this team needs. Buddy, you've been great all season. We hope you have a great Christmas with the fam. And we'll see you Thursday night after what should be a pretty fun Thursday nighter. Pretty important one, too.
Yeah, huge playoff implications. I think both teams are playing a lot better right now. I'm pretty excited about it.